Kagereki. I am Miss Kenya USA 2023-2024, and I am an advocate for mental health with an emphasis on special needs. Miss Kenya USA, it's a platform that helps you advocate for whatever you're passionate about, and being passionate about mental health and persons with disabilities, that's something I really wanted to advocate for, most especially in Kenya. Yes. And also, Miss Kenya USA, it's also a platform that opens so many doors for you. Actually, I just got named brand ambassador for certified homes. Yes, so it's amazing. Yeah. So for being in Miss Kenya USA, they don't discriminate on your height. They don't discriminate on your weight either. So you can be short like me, and you can definitely compete in the pageant. They also advocate. They also like single mothers to also participate in the pageant as well. What made me participate in the pageant was how passionate I am for advocating because of my youngest sister, Vivian, who was diagnosed with meningitis at the age of 3 years old. Yes, so that was my goal, yeah, to just be the voice for her. So the diagnosis and the PT, with her diagnosis, she lost her speech. She can't talk, she cannot help herself, so she needs 24/7 care. She also has dysprasia. She's very tactile as well. Whatever she sees, may it be dangerous, she will take it and just put it in her mouth and just eat it, basically. So we have to basically take care of her 24/7 like a little baby. So that's something that I was just like, you know what, I know a lot of families go through this, and in Kenya most especially, it's really hard because we don't have that support system. Like in the USA, we have caregivers. The government, they can basically help you get caregivers to take care of your loved one, so that you can at least have some time to go to work and do whatever you need to do for yourself. And also in Kenya, that's not something that you may see a lot of the times, because like I say, the government is the one that funds that. In Kenya, you're the one who is going to, pay for a maid to come in and help out. But I know for a lot of families, that's a very tough thing, because also when my sister got sick, my mom had to quit her job. So it was really hard having to take care of 2 little kids and also take care of herself. Yeah, it was very tough, yeah. And also because of the stigma as well in Kenya. So you do have to be based in the USA to become Miss Kenya USA. You don't have to basically, you have to be of Kenyan origin. You don't have to have been born in Kenya, because also some of the participants in the pageant were not born in Kenya. They were born in the States. But your parents do have to have been born in Kenya as well. So yeah, it's kind of it's really nice because it's an open door for people in the diaspora to just advocate for whatever they are passionate about and be a pageant queen. I was born in Nairobi, but I grew up in Embu for the most part. But I'm a mix. So my dad is Turkana and Ethiopian, and my mom is Kikuyu and Embu. Yeah, so I'm a mixed cultural babes. The transition in the USA was difficult at first because on my way there, actually, my mom had to come back to Kenya. So I had to fly from Dubai to the USA by myself. Yeah, and I stayed with my stepdad's family for 3 months. It was really difficult because obviously they were new to me. I had not met his parents and stuff, but it was a bit hard, but at the same time they were very loving. But in school, I did face a bit of bullying, but I just was like, you know what, I'm me, I'm not going to change myself for anything. So you take it, you take me as, you take me, yeah. So I always wanted to pursue beauty since I was 3 years old. I wanted to be a model, but obviously in Kenya I didn't have that. I didn't have that platform to do so. So when I moved to the USA, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just take the chance and just go for it? So I got a modeling internship at the age of 16. Yeah, and that was right after graduating high school. So it was really amazing, and that also opened a door for me to be able to model in the first Coeur d'Alene Fashion Week. So after that, I modeled in 3 more Coeur d'Alene Fashion Weeks, Africa Fashion Week Seattle, and also LA Fashion Week Festival. So that was amazing. And also Miss Kenya USA, which is the biggest platform I've been on. I love pageantry, most especially because it's a beauty with a purpose. Yes, and you get to have a voice in it, rather than just being on the runway, just walking without having a voice, pretty much. Yes. So when I saw my name was on top 4, when they actually called my name, I was freaking out, because I knew that's when they were going to ask us the questions, the onstage questions, which actually it was a bit nerve-wracking, because I was like, oh my goodness, I hate being put on the spot. I hate being put on the spot, so I was very nervous. I was like, okay then, let's just do this, let's get it done, and then we'll see what happens from there. But after that, I was named basically top 2, and I was shocked. I was really shocked. I was like, what? Oh my God, this is insane, because the first princess, her name is Kenya as well. So right before we got on the stage for the evening gown segment, there was somebody that had made a comment, a really negative comment regarding her brother who is autistic. Yeah, so she told me about it, and I was so heartbroken, because we basically experienced the same thing with our siblings. Yeah, so after she told me that, I was like, oh my goodness, you know what, let it be one of us that wins, but so that we can be able to advocate for this, so we can be able to be their voice, and then we're both top 2. So it was insane. We were like, oh my goodness, this is actually happening. Okay, let's do this. And then they named me Miss Kenya USA. Kate, the actress, named me Miss Kenya USA, and I just started crying, because I was like, oh my God, like this is actually happening. And then I gave Kenya a big hug, and I told her, you know what, sis, I'm going to advocate for this. I'm going to be that voice. I promise you that. Well, it was that one. The question that they had asked me on stage was, what would you do if you face criticism and failures with the title? Yeah, so I was very nervous about it. I didn't know specifically how to answer it, because obviously I was kind of put on the spot in a way. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just think of whatever. The question that made me extremely nervous was, how would you face criticism and failures with this title. So I was very nervous. I was very nervous about that because they had actually given us the questions beforehand, and they had told us, you know, review the questions, and then top 4 are the ones who are going to answer that question. So that was the one question that I was really having a hard time with. So after I was just put on the spot with it, I was just like, oh my goodness, here we go. So I took a little bit of, like, I took a second and I was like, okay, you know what? Just go with whatever you're gonna go with. And actually it was very good. Yeah, so I remember a little bit of how I answered it. I answered that I would face it with positivity rather than negativity, and actually educate people rather than just being like, oh, you know, that person's just being a bully and all that. In my time in Kenya, I have been working with various organizations. I will tell you more about it coming up shortly. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. My name is Sharlyn Kagereki. I am 19 years old and the reigning Miss Kenya USA. I have been working with various organizations and I'm here to tell you more about it. When I first told my mom I want to do modeling, my mom's reaction at first, she was not too supportive with it. She really wanted me to focus on education, and I told her, you know, Mom, I can be able to manage the two, so please let me have the chance to do it. And she was like, okay, go for it. But then I remember one time I was working actually 3 jobs at the time, and one of them was that modeling internship. And she was like, Sharlyn, I want you to quit all of your jobs and just stay home and focus on school, nothing else. And I told her, Mom, I need to actually work for my future. I really do. So I remember I took an Uber because she took my car, the car that she had given me, she took it away, and she was like, Sharlyn, now I really want you to, quit them. So I was like, okay. So I didn't tell her anything. I just took an Uber and went all the way to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And back, that cost me about $300. It was so expensive. Yeah, but I'm glad I did that because even after that, like a few weeks after, then that's when I got the opportunity to be one of the first models for Coeur d'Alene Fashion Week. And that's how I just kept on going, and ended up being Miss Kenya USA. I remember telling her I wanted to compete in Miss Kenya USA, and she was like, okay. Because she was, at that point, she was like, you know what, Sharlyn's going to just go for what she wants. So I'd rather just support her. And she really did support me through it. I remember I tried to call her after the show to tell her I won, but she wasn't picking up. But a friend of mine was at the show with me. So he called her and was like, hey, Sharlyn won, and she won the title. And yeah, she was so happy. She called me and she was like, oh my God, you won? Like, that's so crazy. She was very happy. And also being a 19-year-old, one of the youngest actually, Miss Kenya USA, she was absolutely proud and very supportive with everything moving forward. So right now I'm currently doing a media tour in Kenya and also going to the organizations that I'm working with and advocating and trying to see what I can help out with. And one of the main things is just getting donors right now. So I just got named brand ambassador, yes, for Certified Homes. So they were willing to help out build a borehole for one of the communities in nomadic parts of Kenya. So that's one thing that I'm really grateful for, because they were like, you know what, we're going to support you in whatever way we can be able to. And also I'm trying to just meet as many people, be in as many meetings as possible, just to be able to, you know, get those donors, that support. Yes. So coming back to Kenya, it makes me feel so happy, super excited, because I mean, this is home. This is always going to be home to me. So it just feels amazing. And also coming back to actually be able to do something even bigger, greater, most especially with the Miss Kenya USA title. It's amazing. I'm happy. I'm grateful for all of the opportunities that I'm receiving right now, and just grateful to be traveling around Kenya. It's been amazing. So like I said, going to the organizations that I went to, one of them is Heshima, School for Special Needs, or rather Heshima, Dignity and Designs, and the other one is Nondo, Northern Nomadic Organization for Persons with Disabilities. So I went in there and met with the organizers and just spoke to them about what they're really going through. And Heshima told me that they barely get any support from Kenya in general, and that really is very heartbreaking, because they're really trying to support Kenyan children, you know, and not getting support from the community is just, it's very sad. And also with Nondo as well, that's one thing they're really having a hard time with, and also not getting support from the government as well. And another big thing is like the Disability Act. It was amended in 2003 by President Kibaki, but it was never implemented since. Yeah, so that's something that they're really having a hard time with. And as a Miss Kenya USA, I'm trying to see what I can be able to help out with, and also what my organization, Miss Kenya USA, can be able to help out with. So I spoke to Nondo, and I told them that one thing that I really want them to really take initiative on is the mental health awareness in those nomadic regions of Kenya. So I told them like, hey, how about we just have like a therapist come in for a week and a half and just speak to these communities. And they were like, that would be amazing, but the problem is they don't have enough donors. They do not have that. So that's something I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to help out as much as I can on. And I would appreciate any viewer who's watching today to, if they're able to help out, then that would be great. No, I do not have my own organization. So the organizations that I'm working with, Nondo and Heshima, those are the organizations that I say, like, my organizations. So some of the lessons that I have learned in Kenya is there's not enough unity. And that's one thing I would really advise Kenyans to just unite on, and also not having that stigma that persons with disabilities are, you know, less than someone like me, per se. I would advise that Kenyans should be more passionate to help out their communities as well in any way they can, even if it does not have to be financially. It can even be attending these meetings, or like in Nondo, they have a desert wheel race coming up in end of November, and they also have a pageant as well. So attending those things, that shows support. That shows that, hey, okay, Kenyans as a whole, they're trying to really unite, and that's something that's amazing. And if you show unity, obviously there's going to be a lot of compassion, and people are just going to feel a lot better. So in Hishima, I went to the school, so I got to meet some of the students there, and it was so fun just hanging out with them, having a fun time, just talking to them as well. It was really great. But with Nondo, I have not been able to have the chance to actually be on site and see what goes on. But I have obviously visited the foundation, the organization itself, and I've spoken to the leaders of it. But the next time I come to Kenya, I will be going and actually experiencing it firsthand. Yes. I would say right now, most especially with social media, millennials can use that to their advantage as much as they can, because it's a big platform to be an advocate, you know, and it does not necessarily mean you must have like 1 million viewers. Someone will see, someone will be interested in that, in what you're passionate about, and will help you out in one way or another. So. So with the Miss Kenya USA title, I feel very proud. I feel like I'm embracing my Turkana culture, all of my cultures in general, and I'm just really passionate about it. And also being able to be an advocate, that's amazing. At the age of 19, it still shocks me actually. So I'm just really happy, to be the Miss Kenya USA. A mantra that I live by is going for whatever you put your mind to, no matter the difficulties, no matter what people tell you, just push yourself. Don't listen to other people. Other noises are just going to shatter your dreams, so go for your dream. In the next 5 to 10 years, I see myself as a big advocate for persons with disabilities. I also see myself as a lawyer. Yes, I see myself as a criminal defense lawyer, and I'm just grateful. I'm really happy to just experience whatever comes. So for the parting shot, when I come back to Kenya in June, I will definitely do a meet and greet because obviously I'll have done a lot of things during that time. So I think it would be a better time to just do that. If you would like to support my organizations that I'm working with, you can find me on Instagram, Sharlyn_Kagereki, and on Facebook, Sharlyn Kagereki, and on TikTok, Shasha Kage. Thank you.